Good morning, my lovers. It's MJ from Ultra Love, spitting on you, spitting on myself. It's just, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What about it? Nothing. Unless we find a way to reach through our screens and, tickle people or give them a little, no, don't do that, you guys. I'm sort of in a weird and wonderful mood this morning. I don't know what the heck is going on energetically, but I'm here for it. And of course, I'm happy to be here to do a little teledoro. It's a daily tarot. That's where we're at. There's this big part of me that's like, do I keep this video? Shall I start again? No, keep going, MJ. Ooh. So I'm an intuitive reader and a human. I have been doing these daily tarot readings since 2019, if you can believe it, bar a few months off here and there where life is probably just, I have a potty mouth, but I'm like ramming me up the assholes. Like, when life, one thing after another is just relentlessly pounding you of like, do you think you're gonna survive this? Is try, and then you're like, and I'm stabilizing and have been probably for a while, but I think, healing from traumatic events in this weird and wonderful world takes time. And in a way, our life, the mechanical worldview is like, just crack on with it. And you're like, okay, and you try, but so trauma, one of the things about trauma is that it impacts your nervous system so that you become like hyper vigilant. You're just minding your own business, walking around, and somebody like, hits you there, and it can feel really hardcore. Or like, somebody's having a pretty average reaction, but you're interpreting that average reaction as like a threat to your safety. Hypervigilance, hypersensitivity. It's not balanced, right? We're overly sensitive. So, and I have a lot of cardinal energy, so I think I expect things to happen a lot faster than they do. So yeah, healing from, traumatic events that happen in adulthood and or childhood, doesn't really matter, but like, it's a huge thing. Did I say this in one of my shares this week? But like, I just feel like our generation is having to get really grounded and practical about healing and being more in the present and being able to actually hold the present moment. And that's something as well that bothers me to no end. But we're, this is our reality. This is what we got. And I think a lot of times we might have habits or patterns that, I think daydreaming and imagining and all that stuff is super juicy and useful, but not to the detriment of our, it's like if we're dreaming to the point of like neglecting people in our world, or, I'm sure there's a psychological term for it, dissociation or something like that. Anyway, wow, did I ever ramble about some razzmatazz? I hope you're here for it. If you're not, that's okay too. I have respect for everyone on the planet. Although, if you're doing harm to innocent people, I'll probably be bothered by that. As in, I'd probably want to stop you from doing harm to the innocent creatures. That's part of why I'm vegan. I actually don't think, I don't think eating meat is inherently wrong at all. I think there's a natural cycle of life, but I think in our modern, here's my bag too though, is that I'm now increasingly, like when I go shopping for food, I'm not a vegan who like eats a lot of the fake meat. Sometimes, it's a bit of a treat, like, ooh, burger, ooh. But like, it's still like highly processed food increasingly. It's like years ago I realized I can't eat microwave food because microwave food just makes my stomach turn. And then a highly processed food similarly, like it tastes like, oh, you're eating a hot dog or something like that. But then after the fact, it's just So I've tended to be mostly plant-based. I live in the countryside, so I call myself like a non-radical vegan. No, I don't buy eggs and I don't buy fish and those things. But like I straight up, like I have friends who like have chickens and they'll make things with their eggs, and sometimes I'll be like, yeah, sure, you know, I'll have some of that. I don't think there's cruelty involved in eating eggs. Unless you're eating, you know, caged, enslaved chickens' eggs. And then what was the other? Fish spearfishing. And I know, as a child, my grandparents and my father, we would fish, and it was always troublesome for me to watch the fish die. And yet, there was a cyclical process, right? Like we'd all sit around and put the fish on the campfire or whatever, the barbecue, and then we'd have our dinner. So there is something kind of holistic about being able to catch your own and eat it. But my, you know, always my ish is people like, oh, I don't want to think about it. And I'm like, but it's true, you know, Mackie D's and all your bacon and all those things comes from the slaughter. You guys feel that, recognize what you're eating. That's all. Like if you could go out, kill yourself a cow, kill yourself a duck, then fair dues, you know. If you have serious like feels around killing and slaughtering an innocent creature, maybe you should reconsider. I don't know. I sometimes like, God, we're so out of whack. Have I even pulled any cards? Yes, I have. So there. We're so out of whack as far as like, I even think that's part of our like obsession and kind of cray around food and diet is because our bodies are so disconnected. Because if we've grown up only on processed food, our body isn't even like connected to the planet. You know, we're in this synthesized, weird, and clearly, right, people are going on radically profound healing journeys to heal themselves when, you know, the medicines the doctors prescribe don't do the trick. Certainly not to the root cause. And because we're all individuals, in a sense, it gets to that point where we as individuals are responsible for our own healing. And when you understand the metaphysics of the kind of quantum reality, it's like, oh, of course, right, holy shit, that's profound and powerful, right? It can be kind of like, but ultimately it's powerful. Gee whiz, I'm still talking. Should I redo this? You guys could let me know if you're like, wow, you just rambled on about nothing at all. But I feel like sometimes it's important for me to ramble, you guys. It's part of the process. You're just getting to know my vibratory so that you buy some of my stuff so that I, as a small business owner, can live and buy my stuff for myself and for my family, right? So okay, I just insight. That noise is when I'm getting sick of myself. Just, like I look like I'm laughing, but really I'm just like nervous. Like, oh God, shut up. Let's do a quick little read. I mean, all this energy there, the Eight of Wands would be fast moving communication. But it looks like this fast moving communication brings about communication that is like, it's possibly slightly disappointing or like less than excitable news about investment or about Four of Pentacles, but it's in reverse with Page of Wands. So I'm like, there's some sort of dicey message, or it could be about a child. I mean, children are worthy and massive investments, aren't they? So I'm like, this could be about a child. At a distance? A child at a distance, a child who's maybe going to school somewhere else or afar. Ooh, something's going on communication-wise, mentally. Like maybe this child is having a really hard time abroad, or like they went. I'm also getting a sense of like, just be aware that a situation that you think, or on the surface, like, yeah, we're moving to calmer waters, we're all good. Suspicious. suspicious energy, because the Seven of Swords would be like somebody maybe lying, that the expression pulling the wool over. Like, yeah, we're good. Everything's good. They're lying. They don't mean it. Why would they be lying? I mean, there's connected to Pentacle, so they could be doing something a bit weird with the Pentacle and not wanting you to find out about it. You know, kids. What's the matter with the kids these days? I don't know. I don't have any of my own children frighten me. That's not true. A little bit. Like, especially like teenagers and stuff. I'm like, they're so cool, but I'm like frightened of them. I'm like, what happened? Because like, I don't know about you guys. Like now kids that were born in the 2000s are like adults. I'm not an adult. I'm 20 years older than those kids. I'm not an adult. What the heck, life? Some of you are gonna move as well. The Hanged Man energy. Some of you actually might be in a bit of a stalemate in a relationship as well, with a child or children involved. Trouble, there's something like problem child or trouble child, problem child. A lot of communication, like trying to resolve something that's just really challenging to resolve. So some of you might be moving, or some of you just have a bit of a decision to make, I think, about what you're gonna move forward and what you're not. I think you have a lot of power in this situation, but it might not feel like that because there's a lot of like people and stuff going on, and you're just there focusing on moving to calmer waters, being probably steady with the working life and the communication. But there's definitely like an off skis energy, like a suspicious something or someone in your reality, maybe it's you, is like not being that forthcoming, maybe not being that honest. Like, yeah, let's move to calmer waters, let's get this thing cleared out and moving forward, but actually somebody's saying, yeah, we're moving forward, but they're moving in a different direction. Or what they're saying, what they're communicating on one level is maybe different than what they're saying in another setting. Curious about them cards, but mostly give yourself a high five. What? My lovers, thanks for being my internet friends. Thanks for joining me on Ultra Love and Ultra Love TV. Check out the YouTube channel. Oh, look. No, we'll leave it there. Check out the merchandise. Check out my book and the online courses. Be the Change online courses. I just share a bit about how I choose to live my life, how I've come to choose that, and then all of the little ticks, you guys. Tips and tricks and tools to help you stay committed to being the change you wish to see in the world. Holla Shazam. Give yourself a high five. Give yourself a hug. I love you. You love me. We're good to go. Holla Shazam, you guys. Take care. Peace out, my lovers.